Hey guys, welcome to Recraft Relic channel. So I am a bit late today, but yeah, so let's get started. So today we are basically going to build our drawing app in Canvas. Basically, so what basically will happen is we are going to use Canvas and React, and we will allow the ability to use mouse to draw, lines and stuff into the Canvas, and then we will be able to download it. So let's get started. So I already have a dummy application, as you can see here. So I'm just going to stack it here, and I have the browser opened here. So one sec. Let's get started. Okay, so now I have this. Let me start the project. Yarn start. Okay, so the project is running. So let it get started. So you can see the dummy here, right? So now let's start by creating a canvas. Okay, so we'll create a canvas tag here. Canvas, not like this, canvas, and will provide its width as 400, height as 400 as well, right? And we'll provide it a bit of style. So let's do that. Style and border to be 1 pixel solid as 000, right? Let's see if that works. Yeah, you can see our canvas here. Now let's right, so now let's define a ref, so we will be able to access the the context of the canvas, so we'll be able to draw into it. So now let's go canvas ref, and we'll define the ref here. Const canvas ref equal to use ref and null, right? And now let's try to capture the mouse events, right? But before that, let's create some few buttons here. So let's create our button to clear the canvas. So if we click on this, the canvas will get cleared. Then we are going to create a button for download, so it will basically help us download. I'm just going to put them in the next line like this, right? And then there will be a select button. So the not a button but an input. The reason we need this select is because we want the user to choose which color they want to draw in. Basically, if they want red, green, yellow, whatever they want, right? So we'll define some options here. Let's create that list here. Const colors equal to an array. In that array, red, green, yellow, or black. We can also have blue, right? And now we are just going to map over them here. Colors dot map color option. Now its value should be this color, and then the label should also be just a color, right? So now you can see red, green, yellow, blue, right? Now we need a state to keep track of this, so I'm just going to define that above. So value will be selected color, and on change we are just going to do we are just going to just say set selected color to e.target.value. Now just let's just do that. Let's refactor it a bit. Yeah, and now I can go ahead and define the state. Const selected color and set selected color equal to use state. By default I want it to be red, or just colors 0th element, and let's see if that works. E is not defined. Yes, it is not. Use state is not defined. Okay, let's auto import it. Yeah, so now set color is not defined. Selected color it is defined, right? Yeah. Okay, so now let's just check if this is working. For example, if I put 1, it should be green, right, by default. Yeah, if I put like 3 here, it should be black. Yeah, you can see, right? So this is working. Let's keep it 0. Now we have all of these things in place. Now let's just start drawing, putting the logic behind the drawing. Okay, so let's start doing that. So for that, what we need is mouse events. Like if I'm moving the mouse across the canvas, I should be able to draw. So let's start by on mouse move, right? So I'm going to need all of the mouse events. So there are like 4: on mouse move, on mouse up, on mouse down, and on mouse leave. Okay, why I need them, I'm going to explain in a bit. So on mouse leave, on not this, but on mouse leave. Okay, right now let's start by writing a draw function, which will basically draw the the lines, and which will be responsible for drawing the lines when we move the mouse. Okay, so we do that by defining a draw function, and this function will take x and y. The reason it takes an xy, because we know where we are drawing to, from the point where we started to the point where we are drawing. Draw x and y. If so we are only going to draw when the mouse, when the user had mouse pressed. So if they don't have mouse pressed, mouse, they are not pressing the the left click, then the drawing will not work. All right, so because if we are just moving the mouse, we don't want to draw. We only want to draw when we click and then drag, basically. So we are going to say if mouse down, only then draw. Okay, it will draw only when the mouse is down, right? So the other thing that we need is its drawing context, the canvas drawing context, so which is like the rendering context. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to define another ref ctx equal to use ref, which is null. So by default they will be null, but on use effect, when the component first mounts, I'm going to set this context instance. So if canvas ref dot current, so if when we mounted, the canvas is live, I mean canvas is mounted, then we will take its its reference. So it will be ctx dot current equal to canvas ref dot current dot get context 2D. So we are getting the 2D context, so we can draw in the canvas. Okay, why I'm using ref is because we can't set them you know, all we can't use set them inside state, because you know we are going to need them a lot and we don't want the instance to change again and again, and they don't change much often. So I'm just using ref for them. It's much more easier to access this kind of things, which like our instances, you know, it's much more easier to access them using ref. So because the ref doesn't you know, every re-render the ref doesn't you know, resets, so it always carry the first instance, which we need in this case. So now we have the you know, rendering context. What we can do is we can simply start drawing our application. So firstly we'll start by calling BeginPath. So BeginPath basically tell the canvas that we are trying to you know, draw a line, or not a line but draw a shape. So it starts the path. Then we set the current you know, stroke style. So stroke style is the basically line the color of the line that we are going to draw. So is the stroke style. So we are going to use the color, the selected color in this case. Right now we have to define its line width. So ctx.current.line width equal, so for now I'm just going to 10, but we can also make this dynamic if we want. Then we need to define how two lines will join, or what the shape will be created when two lines are joining. So if we are like making a move, you know, or connecting two lines or two paths, we want it to be round. You know, we want the edges to be round. We don't want them to be like sharp or something. So there are like 3 values that you can pass, but I'm using round for now. You can pass meter as well. So meter basically going to make your joints, you know, sharp if you want them. So but for this tutorial I'm just going to use round. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the so whenever I'm drawing, I'm going to tell the context to start from the point where I started. So where I left, so last position dot x and last position dot y. So we are going to save these value last position you know, in like in our state, but we are going to you know, reach there in a bit. Then I'm going to say ctx.current.line2. So from this last point and last position xy to the new xy which was provided to me when you know, draw function is called. So basically what we are doing, we have a last position xy, and then now we are moving to now we are drawing a line between the new xy and the, you know, last position xy. So after that is done, I'm just going to say ctx.currentPath.close path. So now the, you know, path is created. Now we can close it. So we just call the close path, and then we say ctx.current.stroke. If you don't stroke, then your line will not be visible, because stroke function outlines your path, you know, whatever the path that you created, the line you created. If you don't stroke, then it will not be visible. It will be in the like an invisible line, but until and unless you stroke it, it will not work. And when you stroke it, the whatever stroke style you have provided will be applied. So if it's red, then line will be rendered in red. If it's green, then it will be rendered in green. Okay. And then we say, let's now these new positions are our old position. Set position x, you know, and y. Okay, so not like this, like object, right? The reason we are doing, because once we draw, and you know, now the new xy which was provided to draw is our last point, because now if we are going to draw again, we need these xy, you know, because we want to move between those we're going to draw between these points, right? So now let's define these you know, like this variable. So I'm going to go here, const last position set position equal to use state x is 0 and y is 0. So always you know, keep these as a starting point, x and 0 and y is 0, right? And we also need a state to know if our mouse is down or not. So mouse, because if mouse is up, like if the if it is not clicked and we are not dragging, then don't draw. So we don't want to draw. So we're just going to do like this. So you said by default it always will be false in the starting. Now let's define these functions, on mouse move, on mouse up, and all that. So let's the other thing that I have to do is this. So I'm going to change it into use callback because I'm using state variable inside it. So I need this function to redefine when the state changes. If you don't know how use callback work, then I can basically link my another video in the description where you can actually go check out how use callback work. So last position, and we also need the mouse down, so I'm just going to define the mouse down as well here, right? And the selected color is also needed, right? So let's do that as well. So okay, so now we have the draw function. Now let's start drawing. Okay, so firstly and foremost, we are going to define on mouse down. What will happen when we do on mouse down? Okay, I'm going to move this up, right? So what will happen on mouse down? So let's define on mouse down equal to, right? So basically when we have the on mouse down, what we are going to do is we are going to take its set position, we are going to take its x and y. So x e dot page x and y e dot page y, right? And going to just set the position, right? Because because these are the new points, where the click started. So from here we are going to draw the line. So we set that, and then we set that mouse is down, set mouse down to true. Now again I'm going to convert it into a use callback. Okay, or do I need to? I don't think I need to do this because they are already going to define once, so I think it's fine. So now we have defined the on mouse down, and now let's see if that work. Let me just comment these thing out. One sec. Right, now let's console some things. So on mouse down, let's after on mouse down, let's console the mouse down property and the position property, not the position, last position. Let's see. So by default it's false, position is not different, obviously it is not mad. So load this. Right, now if I go and you can see when I click, the mouse down becomes true, and the x and y retrieve the value from the page. Basically if I go here at the top, this will decrease. If I go here, it will increase. The problem with this is that once I click, the mouse down is always true, even if my mouse is up, or I'm I left the canvas. So in that case, what we are going to do, on mouse up and on mouse leave, we are going to set the mouse down to false. So on mouse up, set mouse down to false. Same with the on mouse leave, right? So let's do one thing, because they both are doing the same thing. I'm not going to define two function. I'm just going to use on mouse up. So on mouse up, equal to OnMouseUp, OnMouseLeave equal to OnMouseUp. Okay, now let's see if that works. I get yeah, look, so if I kept the click, I right now I'm pressing my mouse button, then it will always true, but as I release the button, it will become false, you can see, right? And if I leave the canvas, then again it become false, like look at that, right? So this is what we needed, because we don't want, once it's true, then we start drawing, right? And we don't want, even if it's not clicked, we don't want to draw, right? So that is that. And now the juicy part, basically, which is drawing. So till now we haven't drawn anything, so let's start drawing things. So now let's define on mouse move. And on mouse move, what we are going to do is we are going to draw e dot page x and e dot page y, and we are going to put this function here. Now let's see if that works. Okay, I have to define it. Yeah, you can see, right? So we are able to draw now, but one problem here is that this thing is not changing. Even if I click on blue, this thing is not changing, so we have to figure out why that is not happening. Okay, so let's go here. This is the stroke style, right? I stroke. Okay, yeah, the spelling is wrong, so it will be this, right? Let's reload this. Yeah, you can see red. If I go green, then it will be green. If it's yellow, then it's yellow. If it's black, then it's black. If it's blue, then it's blue. And you can give any imaginable color to this. Now we have two things here. One is clear, and the second is download. So we also want to clear it and download it. So let's look at how we're going to clear it. So let's define const clear function. Now how clear works is that we are just basically going to draw on top of it. We'll draw a rectangle of white color on top of it. So how we're going to do is something like this. So ctx our context dot current dot a clear rect 0 0, and from where to where, so from 0 to 0, ctx dot current dot canvas dot width, so whatever is the width of our canvas, to whatever the width of like the height of our canvas. Okay, so we're just going to do that. We're going to clear. I'm also defining a key because it's keep giving me warning, so I'm just going to define a key here. And where's the button? So on click, clear. Now I go ahead here, build did red, yellow, blue, right? And now if I click clear, then it's clear the canvas, right? So that is good. So now the next functionality is download. Let's have a look at it, how we're going to define that as well. Now I'm just going to do const download equal to, right? So firstly and foremost, what we are going to do is we are going to take, so whatever is written here, so whatever is written here, we're going to take it, convert it into a blob, and then download that blob. So if you don't know about blob and everything, I will basically link every information down in the description. You guys can go and have a look there. So now how download works in like this. So firstly and foremost, we are going to extract the blob from the canvas. To do that, I'm going to make this a function. So to do that, we are going to make a fetch request. something like this. Fetch, image. So this image, I'm going to define what this image going to be, but dot blob. So we are basically, what we are going to do is not image here, it will be a blob. So what we are doing here is we get the data URL image from the canvas and then we convert it into a blob using fetch. To get the data image URI from canvas ref current dot to data URL and which format. So I want it into in a PNG, so I'm just going to do that like this, right? Now we have, so if you don't know about data URL, they are like a normal URL, a normal source, but they have all the information. A data URL have all the information in the URL, like how the image will be rendered and everything. If you don't know about data URL, I'm going to link about it in the description. You guys can go and have a look. So now we have the blob, and now what we can do is we can convert into a blob URL which we can download. So blob URL is equal to URL dot create object URL, and we are just going to put blob inside here. And now this blob URL can be downloaded. To download it, we're going to create a link, document dot create element, which will be a element, then a dot ref equal to blob URL, and we say a dot download. So what will be the file name when it will download, it will get downloaded? So image.png for now, and then a dot right, a dot download and everything, and now we're just going to say a dot click. So we don't want to add this element in the DOM because we don't want it to be seen. So we're just going to do this. This will not be a just a, so it will be a link dot click. All right, now let's just go ahead and call this on click of this function, and now let's see if things works, right? So I'm just going to type my name, draw my name, not type. I click on download. Let's get downloaded. Let's open it here, and you can see, right? So I can again go clear it, and I can go here, build a peace sign, right? Or I can go here, build a react sign, something like that. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, yeah, as you can see, right, this basically opens up here. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it, right, guys? It's pretty simple. I'm going to put all of this code in the GitHub so you guys can go have a look. But yeah, I mean, this is it. We basically, in this video, what we did is we learned how to build a canvas drawing application, and their implementations are like, you can build anything with this. You can even draw image on top of that, draw, you can render an image, and on the top of that draw something. We can also change colors if we want to. We can also change the width of this these lines. We can clear the canvas, or after we are done, we can also download the image, which you can see here. So I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please subscribe, like, and share this video. And yeah, I'm going to see you on the next Saturday.